Hey, Michelle and Carson, I can't even tell you how excited I am to talk to you both today. First of all, happy holidays. And thank you for RuPaul's Drag Race, one of my all time favorite shows. To say that this is a worldwide phenomenon is an understatement. And I am talking to you from Toronto, Canada. So, Michelle, we need to talk about Canada's Drag Race. First of all, thank you for coming on our inaugural season.
It was such an honor for me to be on the inaugural season. Are you kidding me? I came from London to do that, and I would go anytime to do Canada's Drag Race. It was so fun, and I thought it was really, really well done. I thought the queens were amazing. Your queen, Priyanka, was wonderful. It was just an honor, and to be able to do it on the penultimate episode was very special to me. So thank you for having me, my darling.
Well, listen, anytime. Now, Carson, when are we going to get you out to Canada to be a judge or help us out with our show?
I know. I'm going to have to come to Canada's Drag Race as well. I love Brooklyn Heights. I loved watching the season last year, and I was jealous that Michelle got to go, so they better put me on the list. And I love coming to Toronto because there's so many fun places to go out there.
Yeah, well, obviously we have to wait until the borders open to have you both back. But right now, let's talk about season 13, RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, Michelle, this one's a little different because you guys had to make compensations for the coronavirus, obviously. So tell me, because I see that you guys have a new panel with plexiglass. Like, that's kind of weird.
It was kind of weird, but you know what, Bonnie? Oddly, there was a feeling of safety because I didn't know. I was like, I saw it when I first saw this. It was at the SpaceX launch, and I remember texting the producers, going, "We should do this." And then the plexiglass was there, and I felt oddly because we had to be separated. Carson, Ross, and I usually get dressed in the same building. We go into each other's dressing rooms. We kiki. We have lunch together. We couldn't do that this year. So we had our own trailers and we were fully separated in our own bubbles, like hair and makeup were in our bubble. That's it. So you couldn't go on the set without a mask and you couldn't go on the set without a shield. It was very strict, 3 to 4 times COVID testing a week, crew, catering, everybody. That's why we were so successful with it, because we were so strict with it. But then in order to walk on the set, even with makeup, I'd have to shield, mask. You get to the little part on your judging panel, and that's when you could take your mask and your thing off, and that's like so like the cameras are right here and the plexiglass is there. But the funniest part, Bonnie, here's a little inside tea, is we couldn't hear each other a lot. Okay. So Ross, who's all the way down at the end, would be talking to me and I have no idea what he's saying, and then he'll be going, Michelle, I can't hear it. And I look over and I see him and I'm like, what? So we're screaming at each other. It was hilarious, but we felt safe.
Yeah. And that's the main thing, obviously. Now, Carson, I love watching you, and I love listening to what you have to say about the fashions. You've been on the show, since about 2015, and I want to know for you what the difference is, like how they keep stepping it up with these amazing clothes and the fashions. It's just, oh God, I love watching that. What's it like for you to see these wonderful clothes?
It's I'm ecstatic, and I think every season, I think the fashion game elevates on the show, and I'm just I love when fashion and a sense of humor kind of merge. And I think that's what drag queens do so well. So when people like Trinity the Tuck Taylor did that, dress that had teacup bustiers and looked like, a China pattern, it was gorgeous. It was fashion, but it also had such a sense of humor. That is like my jam. So I'm just thrilled I get to see that. But you see all kinds of fashion. You see, street fashion. You see grunge. You see ultra glamorous. You see, 1950s kind of retro. Each queen brings their unique sensibility, and that's what keeps it so interesting.
And unique sensibility. I mean, let's just talk about RuPaul, because whether he's dressed in drag or as Ru, or always looking so fantastic. I mean, I would give anything to have a body like that.
So would I.
Me too.
What makes this guy so special and so successful? Who wants to jump in on that?
I mean, I've known Ru for, my goodness, going on 30 years. And we've been really, really close. And I can tell you that in this lifetime, there are special people there's Michael Jackson, there's Whitney Houston, there's Madonna. These are once in a lifetime. There's Elvis Presley's, Marilyn Monroe. And I think RuPaul is in that group of people. Sometimes you're born with all the stars aligned. Life was not easy for him at all, the opposite. And he was anointed. He just had that special touch that, a lot of us hope for, but few of us have. And he's got it. He's the gift that keeps on giving. He's the reason RuPaul's Drag Race is RuPaul's Drag Race. I think other places have tried to do their own version or do somewhat, and it's because they don't have the special sauce. The special sauce is Ru.
Absolutely. But you guys too. I mean, don't be so, you guys are fantastic too. Now I want to ask you, I mean, even though it's so much fun to watch this and everything that goes on, you guys have created a family there basically. And each season, when you meet these new queens, there's some cat fights and things like that, but how do you not get emotional with some of their stories? Some of it just, I sit there sometimes and I cry, because what I love about this show is it brings us acceptance. It gives us more insight into who these people are. Carson, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, we do cry and we do get emotional. And, when we're judging, we don't really know too much of their backstory, and we don't know what's going on in the workroom. And I think that's for the best. We're just really there to say, this is the challenge. Here's the criteria. How did you meet that criteria? Did you do a great job? How can you do better? We kind of, coach them that way. But there's always a moment in the show where we hear their stories and you can't help but connect with that. And I think a lot of us on the show have had similar experiences growing up as, queer kids, and certainly that touches us. But I think the show's been so successful because you care about the queens. They have heart. They have overcome amazing, sometimes not great circumstances, and they bring joy and light and laughter and love to their art form and to their fellow contestants, and you can't help but fall in love with that. So we get emotional. I think people watching get emotional, and I think that's why people connect to the show.
And it's not just inspiration, it's also hope. I think a lot of kids watching think, well, if they can do it, well, then I can do it. And these kids don't necessarily want to be drag queens, but they do want to feel what it's like to love themselves if maybe their surroundings aren't the best for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, guys, I could talk to you all day, but I know there's other people waiting to talk to you. But again, thank you so much for the joy that you all bring to our homes. And I just absolutely cannot wait for the next season. And I just want to wish you both happy holidays and fingers crossed that we have a much better
Amen.
2021.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything.
Happy Ru year.
Tell Justin Trudeau I love him.
Yes, happy Ru year. And I will not sashay away. But thank you very
care,
much.
honey.
I appreciate it. You too. Bye-bye.